Using the turf as a mouse pad? Really? I don't know. I don't know if I buy it.
This is Sportscentre.
Hey, I'm Marissa Brodon. We've got a great game on TSN tonight as the Leafs take on the Rangers in Toronto. And as it stands, both these teams are sitting in a playoff spot pretty comfortably, with the Buds just 5 points back of the Bruins for first in the Atlantic, and the Rangers 6 points clear of the Flyers for first in the Metro. Right now, the Leafs are as hot as they've been all season, coming off a 7-0 win, and having not lost in regulation in 9 consecutive games. Austin Matthews has scored 9 goals in his last 6 games, and has 4 multi-goal games over that span. He's also tied for first in the league in goals with 23, but he has played 5 fewer games than Brock Besser, which not only gives him the edge, but he also leads the NHL in even strength goals at 16. His partner in crime, Mitch Marner, is also rolling right now, with 14 points in his last 8 games. And he's got 8 in his last 3 alone. On the other side of the matchup, the Rangers are stumbling into the holidays a little bit, with 3 losses in their last 6 games, but they've won 2 in a row and have allowed 1 goal in 3 of their last 4 games. Whether it's Igor Shesterkin or Jonathan Quick, who has won 7 games in a row, New York is dialed in net. And up front, they're led by Artemi Panarin, who's having the best season of his career, with 42 points through 29 games, which is well over a 100-point pace. And viewers in the Leafs region can catch this one tonight at 7 Eastern on TSN 4. Okay, the Sens are in action for the first time since DJ Smith got the axe yesterday afternoon, and they'll be doing so with familiar faces behind the bench, with Jacques Martin stepping in as interim head coach and Daniel Alfredson as his newest assistant. Martin is Ottawa's longest tenured and winningest coach in franchise history, with over 2.5 times more wins than Smith. He made the playoffs in 8 straight seasons with Ottawa and has reached an Eastern Conference final on 2 separate occasions, once with Ottawa and once with Montreal. Ottawa's hoping to avoid its 7th consecutive season without making the playoffs. And it's not difficult to see why they finally moved on from Smith. Only 4 head coaches had longer tenures at the time of his firing, and 3 of them had won cups, while Rod Brind'Amour was the other, and he's won 3 straight division titles. Smith not only had not made the playoffs, but this season saw the team rank near the bottom of the league in several defensive and goaltending categories, while their special teams had been equally abysmal. And slow starts have been a disturbing trend under Smith, which had put the Sens behind the 8 ball. The Sens have had a bottom 5 record after 20 games in each of the past 4 seasons. Can they start turning things around tonight? Viewers in the Sens region can find out at 9 Eastern, 10 Atlantic on TSN 5. Time now for my favorite segment and yours, Why We Love Sports Today.
Why we love sports today.
One of the biggest surprises of the NBA season has to be the emergence of the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are currently the best in the West, and tied with Boston for the best record in the entire association at 20-5. One of their biggest advantages has to be their dominance coming out of halftime, as their third quarter net rating is the best out of any Western Conference team this season. And we may have found out their secret recipe.
Nothing, fast break points, boom goes the dynamite, there goes our lead. We got to treat Bane like you do the elf on a shelf on Christmas morning. You got to find him. He makes everybody comfortable. He's like popcorn during Saturday night movies. Our paint defense was like 7-Eleven, open 24 hours. Realized they had hits on like Donkey Kong the way they started out. First time all year that we were kind of on almost like a hot mess express.
Oh my gosh. I feel like he's just the Ted Lasso of basketball, which I respect. NFL fans are some of the most dedicated across all sports. They often travel thousands of kilometers, tailgate for hours, and brave the elements to see their favorite teams play. But what if you didn't have to make all that effort? Packers fans might want to jump all over this listing on Zillow, where for just $700,000 American or 930 something Canadian, you could literally buy a full house that's just steps away from Lambeau Field. Many cities throughout North America have condos or townhouses close to or attached to stadiums. But a cozy 4-bedroom house with an in-ground pool and a hot tub. This is on another level. You could Airbnb it, you could rent out a parking space on game day, or you could just have the most epic tailgates of your own on your driveway and front lawn. And Packers fans will be keeping a close eye on this week's Thursday Nighter, as the Saints and Rams square off in a pivotal matchup. Both teams entering at 7-7, just a game up on Green Bay and Atlanta. You can catch that one on TSN and CTV2 at 8:15 Eastern, 5:15 Pacific. And we're going to wrap up our show like we always do on Tuesdays with my anytime goal scorer pick. Last week, Connor Bedard made me look like a genius for the 2nd time this season, but this time I'm going to look at one of his opponents from last week. I'm going with Leon Draisaitl of the Oilers paying a visit to Long Island. He's paying plus money to bury against the Isles, and I think he's due to break out. Leon has been held pointless in consecutive games for just the 2nd time this season, but he's not gone 3 straight games without a point in a season since way back in March of 2020. That's the 2nd longest active streak in the NHL behind only Nathan MacKinnon. It was obviously a tough choice between Draisaitl and his superstar teammate Connor McDavid, but the German has scored 8 goals in 14 career games against the Isles, while Connor only has 5 over the same amount of games. They both have 17 career points against New York, but Connor has played distributor while Draisaitl has played finisher, and yet has worse odds to score, so there could be some value there. And they should not have a problem getting chances Both Isles goalies have faced the most amount of shots on goal per game this season. In fact, they're the only goalies that have faced at least 33 shots on goal per game among qualified goaltenders. That's all for today. We'll see you back tomorrow at 3 Eastern, Pacific. Have a good one.